we have a wonderful guest, a another local legend. We got to watch this young man box on the 26th at the
Yeah.
Midwest Showdown at the Civic Center. Man, like it was amazing because like this was one of those moments where it got really really quiet and then really really loud, and you just look over and everybody's standing staring at the ring, and you're watching him just gliding through the ring, just landing all these crazy shots, finding angles. Like it was just brilliant, man. I really loved watching you fight. What was it like to fight at the Civic Center there?
Man, bro, to be honest, the feeling, I still think about it every day. Like, I still be having these moments where I wake up and I'm just like, bruh, like, if I can go back to that day, there's nothing that I will really change about that day. Like, I was nervous, but I've been putting in the work, like like nonstop work. The last time I fought was earlier this year inside the Golden Gloves, where I skipped the novice division, went straight to open, went against last year's Golden Gloves champion in the very first round. I feel like the crowd wanted him to win because he couldn't get me out of there that way. Like,
That's still
but
amazing.
yeah, but I'm just blessed to be here, man.
I
Shaune
mean,
Isolation.
so that's
Well, we were talking.
the fact that you were
Go
able to
ahead,
beat
Ashwan.
the last champion of the Golden Gloves in the first bout. That's an
Oh, no,
accomplishment.
no, no, no. I didn't win that fight.
Oh,
That's the only loss that I have on my record.
oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
apologize, but that's
I
still
was gonna say
amazing.
he's got 4 fights. He's 3-1. You've actually got a kind of a unique career as you're going through your combat sports career rather. You've been boxing for 2 years. Where are you training out of right now?
Right now I train inside of Champaign, Illinois. I bounce around through different gyms. You might catch me getting some lab work in at Leondo's Boxing, and you might catch me getting some work in at Ahsoka Academy. They do Muay Thai, so they help me get like a good like core. I can't get pushed around when I'm inside of the ring.
Oh,
Um, and then besides that, I just be bouncing around, going to city to city. Go up to Mattoon, to Hamilton's Knucklehead Boxing Club. You know, a lot of great guys who helped me have a successful bout.
Yeah, I thought it was so interesting that like a lot of the guys that I know they're kind of siloed into one gym, or they have like a set routine where they work with a particular set of guys. But like the fact that you're kind of bouncing around, you're getting a lot of different experience from a lot of different individuals across combat sports in Central Illinois. Like I think it's a really really clever way to kind of elevate your game in your first few years in boxing. Do you think that
Oh, heck yeah.
strategy is paying off for you?
Oh, heck yes, man. Back in high school, I played basketball, I ran track, went to state with track too. I wrestled for a little bit and I played football. It was just an amazing like sports career that I had inside of high school, and then taking that athletic and natural grit to myself and displaying it over into boxing. I felt like I had a natural like it was a natural knack for it, and um, I'm just what is the word I'm looking for? Um, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but
driven.
like I felt like I was always like meant to be a boxer.
Well, you were telling me a little bit about how you kind of got into boxing through was it your cousin Raheem?
Yeah, it was just like a
Share
it
me.
was it was like a random day actually. Like I was coming home from work and like I was just walking home, and like I walked past my auntie's crib and I seen him in the backyard and he was just patting up his across the street neighbor. And like I was thinking about something because like this is around the time that like I started seeing more of Jake Paul everywhere with boxing. And I was like I seen bro on Disney, like it, like what? But yeah, I just decided to pick up gloves that day. I learned the main six punches of boxing, and then from there the sky was the limit.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were saying that you've at least in Peoria, you've been working with Robert Bryan at Combat Academy. How has
Yes.
he helped develop you and add to your experience?
Man, okay, so I used to do underground boxing before I did USA. So it was just like I was going against guys who were way bigger than me. I was like 160 pounds. knocking out 184 pound, 190 pound guys and stuff. No headgear. They just coming at me windmilling and stuff. And
Oh
like,
wow.
so it was like, yeah. So it was just like I just had like this
That
natural
was such a
aggression.
great description. Sorry, just
Yeah.
windmill.
No, for real though, like, it gave me a great understanding of boxing that you can't play boxing. And I knew that I was gonna be great when I was 20 years old, knocking out grown men. Haven't even developed my grown man strength. Still, it's still coming in now. Like I honestly don't feel like I'm that strong, but like other people will beg to differ.
I would consider you a
What
prodigy.
got you into the underground fighting? I'll say what
Money.
got you into the underground fighting? That's fascinating. Because you said you
Um,
started like 2 years ago, so that means you would have gone essentially like straight from training for what, a couple of months, and then bam, you're doing your underground fighting. How did that go?
yeah. Well, what got me into underground was actually my coach Raheem. He told me about Peoria Fight Club
Oh,
and how they were and how they were booming, and he was just like, it's only an hour and a half away, let's go check it out. And then, like, I was just the, excuse my tongue, I was the shit talking kid from Champagne who everybody thought was just a kid. Like, they was just like, oh, he's skinny, he's a kid, ooh, out the bam. But like, I've always had great cardio, so like always used to wait for the guys to get tired, and then I'll show them like what these hands really do. And then my coach felt like I could do more, and then he wanted to see how committed I was. Um, and I showed him commitment. There's been times where I've went like 3-4 months just by myself, training myself, being a YouTube warrior, like looking up on YouTube on different footworks. I've always been a dancer though, so like I feel like footwork came to me pretty
Oh, dude,
naturally.
I
Yeah,
wanted to ask about that. What kind of dance do you do?
hip hop, freestyling. I can floor glide. I can do a little bit of flips, a little bit of b-boy, stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
so Anthony Holloway said the exact same thing. Like dancing was one of the things that he used to do, and that was something that's really contributed to his ability, his footwork, getting his hands and everything connected together. Do you feel like you had a similar experience?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was pretty timid growing up. Used to get bullied for the dancing and stuff. Didn't really know how to like get back at
What?
people. Yeah, like no cap. Like it was terrible. Like it's actually so funny seeing everybody in my city, people who used to ignore me, not acknowledge me, and then they see me walking around with the belt. They see me out here landing great shots on people and people who actually know what they're doing, and they just like, oh yeah, you're the man. I'm just like, I knew that already, but
that
where were you?
that is just pathetic of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed
I don't
some.
know, man. Like you walk the walk and talk the talk that day, so you definitely earned that.
Like I could just
Yeah.
tell when you were fighting on your match at the Midwest Showdown. Like you could both. I could tell you could judge your distance, especially with your footwork. Because if you can just judge by how someone throws their punches as well as their movement and judging the distance, you can tell someone's professional and they know what to do.
I appreciate that. I've heard slight comments about me, with my slight experience and exposure. I feel like I do have a skill set that of a pro, and that's something that I'm trying to expand to the stars, because like I feel like I can be the champion of my city. I feel like I can be the champion of my state. I feel like the world is a throne waiting for me to take my seat.
What do you think it's going to take for you to realize that?
Um, I don't know. I always felt like I had a purpose for being in this world. I've had a couple incidents inside of my life where I felt like if it would have been someone different and God wasn't watching them the way I feel like He's watching me, I feel like I wouldn't have been here, or somebody else inside of my shoes wouldn't have been here.
Oh,
Um, yeah, like one thing's one. Like the first things, I'm just now learning how to swim after almost drowning twice in my life.
oh, wow.
Yeah, so like to be able to conquer stuff like swimming inside of pools that's taller than me. I'm a pretty tall guy, so like when I jump inside of a pool and it's taller than me, like it's something that like brings me back to when I was 8 years old or 13 years old, when I had almost drowned those two times. But like I feel like conquering fears like those make me feel like I can't be touched inside the ring. because we all human, we all bleed, which means that you can be beaten, and I'm gonna be the one who do it.
No, I share a very similar experience. Like the reason I got into mixed martial arts and Muay Thai was because it was the scariest thing I could think of. And I was reading this book at the time that was said, let your fear guide you. If you're afraid, you're in the right place. And I'm like, all right, what's the scariest thing I can think of? Mixed martial arts. All right, where's the closest gym? I got to go there now. And then I just started training for years.
Yeah.
So, are you wanting to go? Are you going to make any stint into like mixed martial arts? Like, try your hand over there? Or are you thinking you're going to be a pure boxing?
Phew. Right now it's looking like I'm just gonna be boxing people like Captain Crunch right now, no cap. But like I do have an interest. Like I feel like it'll be pretty dope to Spartan kick somebody, but it probably won't be dope to get Spartan kicked. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I love doing Muay Thai. Like, that's like, I mean, I've got a black belt in Taekwondo, but Muay Thai
Oh,
is
that's
like just
dope.
my absolute favorite. And like, just switch kicks. Like, I love just messing my feet around, like making you think, like throwing like a little feint with my front after I've done like a switch, and then wah, throwing a kick up, or like
Yeah.
those question mark kicks that can like come up to your head, man. Those
Yeah,
things are
out of
fucking
Israel
beautiful.
Adesanya. I remember he did that. I like that. I like the question mark kick.
Yeah.
I used to watch Sanchai, and he would do like first round he'd be throwing leg kicks all day long. Second round he'd feint the leg kick, and then as long as he knew your like hand was gonna go down, very next one was coming to your dome and you were going out.
Yeah, that sounds like a deadly combo. To be honest, I'm trying to get like that.
So
But
what? Tell me
yeah.
about what boxers have inspired you. Like, do you have anybody that you like to watch more than anybody else?
Excellent
Okay,
question.
so this is a great question. So my boxing style is developed off of two fighters, and it is world world heavyweight world middleweight champion, former world middleweight champion Sugar Ray Leonard
Oh.
and
Mm.
Dimitri Bivol. I've like combined their two, like the Russian style, and then like the I feel like I'm an opportunist. Like if you give me something, I'm a blow it up. Like, and I just combine those two styles: the footwork, the measuring the distance in and out, switching off, being able to fight inside of southpaw. Like I was born left-handed, but I had squished my left wrist under a sewage thing playing around with my friends when I was younger, and
Oh.
so for a few years of my life, I taught myself everything with my right hand. But I still fight. I fight orthodox still though. But so it's just like when I hit somebody with a jab, I know that they're feeling all my power because that's where it's all at. But the right hand is just quick. So like I try to abuse it.
Oh. That's.
So do you like that's kind of like that what Jeet Kune Do or Jeet Kune Do like Bruce Lee would do. He would always lead with his power hand.
Hmm.
Do you find that gives you an advantage in the ring when you're fighting?
I feel like it does because like I feel like if I have an opponent who's going to walk me down the whole entire time, he's never going to be able to catch me at a odd angle where I won't feel comfortable at. Unless I squish my feet too close together. Um, but like yeah, like I feel like I can hit at different angles. And then the uppercut is a doozy.
So tell me about a little bit more about the Sugar Ray Leonard. What's give me one thing. I don't want you to spoil everything that you've learned from him. Give me one thing that's really impacted you that you took away from watching his style.
um being calm inside the moments, like I understand that every fighter is going to bring their own like specialty, like a fighting game. Like I feel like they always going to have their own little power move. Somebody might be able to like come in with a crazy lightning left hook or stupid strong right hand and stuff. And like I take pride in being able to I don't like being hit, but like I feel like I can take everybody's best shot and keep coming forward with a poker face. And that's something that Sugar Ray put inside of my head. Also Marvin Hagler too, because I love to go to war. Like if somebody stands in front of me, I might completely forget that we boxing, and like we just gonna be in there, and I might not even turn the whole entire time and just be just in your grill.
Hey, Ashman, I'm kind of curious from you too. Do you have any fighters that have had a big influence over you?
Okay. Let's see. So I really watch Fight Talks by with I forget his name. Fight tips. Fight tips. Sorry.
Fight
Oh
tips.
yeah, with Shane.
So one thing it's not that I've noticed a particular fighter. I take my thing from multiple styles. Like I did Tang Sudo when I was a child. Then I done some boxing training under he's a Olympic athlete named Rustam Olmasov. He used to train in Peoria, this up my one fitness gym. I also learned from like various people at Peoria Muay Thai. So it's a matter I don't have a particular person, but I do look up to people like Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. I studied their techniques as well.
Do you have any maybe like one fight that really sticks out in your head?
Myself.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna turn it back to you, Shaune.
My favorite fight to watch is um uh Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. Both
Oh,
fights. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we had I had Coach Robert Bell on here, and I asked him a similar question, like if he was in peak condition, there's somebody standing across the ring from him, who is it? Who's that other person? He said Sugar Ray Leonard, and he trained under Emmanuel Stewart up in Michigan in the same gym that Tommy Hearns trained out of. So
Hmm.
like that. To hear that is just I'm tickled by it. I know he'll be tickled by that too.
Yeah, actually, I want to give a huge shout out to Coach Bell as well, because when I was a little lost on where I was going to be at, he took me under my wing and he got me my first USA fight, and that's something that I don't really give him enough consideration about. He is somebody who got me started throwing my uppercuts. He's somebody who got me started landing my uppercuts, and like yeah, I'm thankful for him for that. This guy's just some hard heads in that gym. I don't really like bickering with people.
So what weight class do you fight in?
I fight at my natural body weight. I walk around like 180 and I fight at 176.
Oh, that's not bad at all. So you don't have to worry about doing like any gnarly weight cuts.
Yeah, I think for Golden Gloves next year, I'm gonna fight open again, and I'm going to go 165.
I mean, honestly, I think that's really smart, especially when you're amateur. I mean, like if you're trying to cut like 10 or 15 pounds of weight and then put that hydration back in the same day, like you're really likely to get yourself hurt more than anything. So
Yeah.
I think you're smart to stick around there. And like yeah, I mean dropping down what was that, another 8 pounds, but giving yourself a year to do it. I mean that's another smart way to look at it. Make sure you give yourself the time.
Hmm. Yeah, cause it's real hard to drop weight in the winter and stuff. So like I feel like I'm gonna give myself like a real like stern evaluation around like January, see where my body fat is at, and see how easily I'm dropping weight. But if I'm struggling in any way, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna kick ass in 176 because I know I can.
So now I'm thinking about that question that I asked, Robert Bell, and I'm thinking about it for you. Like, you're primed up, you're hitting like, I mean, what like say, would you be a heavyweight? Like, is that what your aim is, or do you want to kind of stick in the
No,
same weight
actually, I'm
class
gonna
and just
go.
lean up?
Actually, I was looking to go pro at like 154.
okay.
Oh my man! All right.
Yeah.
So who do you want? Like, what you get yourself ready? Like you're ready to go, and you get the fight that you can get, that you're the best in the world, and they're gonna say yes. Who is it?
Okay. Okay, bet. We're gonna go with the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran.
Oh,
Interesting. Tell me more. I haven't heard that name before.
So I would want to go against. I would want to match up against Roberto Duran because he's like one of the greatest Mexican fighters to ever do it, and that the name really means a lot, like Hands of Stone. So it's just like if I can walk through him the same way that Tommy Hearns did, or the same way Sugar Ray did the first time he lost, but like just stamp myself into the books, like I'm here, but I'm not to be fucked with.
Oh man, what do you think that'll do for you? You get that
I
fight,
feel
you
like
win. What happens next? Well, what's the first thing you do?
the first thing I do is I don't know, celebrate. No, but the first thing that I do after taking a win as big as that is I don't know. I would probably want like another super fight. I would want to fight like Terrence Crawford afterwards. Like go against somebody. Roberto Duran. He gonna put his head down. He gonna come forward towards me, kind of like Isaac Cruz and stuff like that, with good combinations. Nowhere near as fast as Pacquiao though, but I feel like it would be like exhilarating. And then like going against somebody who's just a technician, a scientist when it comes to boxing, like Terrence Crawford. Like I feel like it'll be able to show people that I can adapt, and I feel like I can adapt no matter who I'm going against.
So it seems like you have like a pretty strong love for like just boxing in general. Have you
Yeah.
seen any of like the? I mean, you said you saw what Jake Paul fight. That was one of the things that kind of got you more interested in boxing. Tell me a little bit about that.
So like I kind of at first I was a hater of Jake Paul. I felt like he was trying
Me
to
too.
like
Don't worry.
yeah, I feel like he tried to decimate on the name and but once I seen like how committed he was, I started having respect for him because he got like that swagger and he's human. He's been beat before and stuff, and I'm actually happy that he has that loss on his record because like I feel like it humbled him and it brought him down to earth a little bit, and I like that. I like his persona. But when I
Wait, then he
first
called out Mike Tyson. It's
the
like
guy the guy
he
has
humbled up and called out Mike Tyson.
the guy
Indeed.
has a death wish.
Yeah.
The most
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
champion to ever do it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think it was just a clout play. Like, I don't know if that fight was
Yeah.
ever going to happen to begin with, but like, even just being in a contract talk with them, it just gets everybody talking about it, and then in turn, really gets them talking about that next fight. Did you see the fight? Didn't he fight Mike Perry last?
Yeah, he did.
Did you get
I
to see
did
that one?
watch. I did watch Jake Paul's last fight, and he's starting to go
What do you
against
think?
actual boxers. He's going against actual boxers now, so it lets me actually be able to evaluate him. I feel like he should drop weight a little bit. Stop trying to walk around all big chested and things of that nature. But I feel like Jake Paul is a good fighter. Not a world champion, but he's a good fighter.
I feel like he's just I just want to see him get obliterated. It's like who's going to be the one to obliterate?
Same.
Or I want there to be a person that I hate even more than Jake Paul, and it's like a win-win. No matter who gets knocked out, I'm happy. Like it just can't go to like a draw. Like if it goes to the end, I'm gonna be upset.
Who's that?
Who's that
person? Who's that person that you don't like?
That's a good
Well,
question.
we need to figure out who that is and then send it over to Jake Paul and then take a 4% finder's fee.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe it's you. What does he fight? He fights at like 200, doesn't he? He's in heavyweight.
Yeah, he does. I'll be honest, man. After a few drug tests, because I don't feel like he's clean. I could see myself fighting and winning against Jake Paul. Like I feel like
Oh.
But if he comes off the steroids or if you go on him.
no, I don't even take pre-workout when I go to the gym, man. I'm all natural.
That's
no
safe,
cap.
man.
Yes,
especially
that's-
if you're on an Olympic track. Because like, how many guys have taken those supplements and wound up like in a U.S. Olympic investigation just because they had like tainted supplements? It's happened a ton of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like a guy like Jake Paul, I feel like a guy named Shaune can beat him. And I'll stand 10 toes on that one.
So
after Sugar Ray Leonard, who's the next on that list?
What you want me to name off like my top 5 fighters?
I'm just kind of curious because it was just such a great answer. Like I'm curious how you think about those fighters and that fight and how it would be going down. Like because I feel like you seem like the type of guy that you would come up with a different game plan for each one of those fighters and you would execute it to a T.
Oh yeah.
I'm just curious, like what's that game plan? What's in your arsenal that you would drop on a Sugar Ray Leonard to give yourself the the fighting edge?
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I didn't showcase when I had fought on the 26th. Like I actually had like a real force habit of doubling my punches, and I didn't really bring out my double left hooks. I didn't really bring out my side steps for real, for real. And I know I could fight that whole fight in southpaw if I really wanted to. And so it's just like I just want to give people just a little glimpse of everything. What would I bring into like a fight against like Sugar Ray Leonard, Terrence Crawford, uh, Tommy Hearns, Hitman Hagler? I feel like the fact that I'll get my punches and I'll get away from them. I'm not gonna bother sitting in front of you and trying to prove myself when I know what you bring to the table. Now, when we got some headgear on, I don't care what you could bring to the table. But like, um, I don't know, like I've turned on their fights and I've thought to myself like being their opponent who they're winning against or who they're losing against because I prefer to watch the greats lose like the fights that they lost. What was this person able to do to take advantage of them? How can this style be beat? That's stuff that I like to take into consideration because if I go into everybody has a game plan until they get punched in their face. And
I
and
feel like
Yeah,
I've
I
heard that one
relate.
before.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
the thing is, if you do get hit, you need to respond back. I admit I'm not the best at that. Like you don't want
Yeah.
to be a test dog. Like I noticed that during the Midwest Showdown and the guns up, guns down, gloves up. Like some of the fighters who've lost because they didn't. The point of the boxing is to throw as much punches at your opponent that actually land. So the thing is, if you're standing still and not doing anything like a statue, you're not gonna win. You need to respond.
Yeah.
It has to be like
The other
clockwork.
thing I noticed from a lot of people that were on the losing end of those fights, a lot of them were just staying on the center line. They were never getting off that center line and using the ring and using their footwork to their advantage. So like they would start to get hit, they would back up and just shell up, and then suddenly they're just having to like kind of they just move their head side to side, but they weren't moving their feet anywhere, and they were just taking all these shots.
Yeah. Stuff like I feel like I'm a if someone lets me load up on them, I would I would probably have 3 knockouts right now if they just sat there and let me load up on them. To be honest, because like I feel like I'm a person who I'll throw like my jabs with the intent to touch you, but like they're just to get my real punch off and stuff. And so it's just like everything that I do and throw out is a setup for something else. And then if the setup ends up landing, then like whoopity doo, I just got some more points. But like that's not even the this isn't even my full power.
I was just thinking, I watched this fight with Roy Jones Jr. and like he got to the point in the fight where he was putting his hands down by his
Behind his
hips.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he was just throwing from the hip, but then he was making these crazy angles. Like he made it work for him. It was just like it's disgusting, like absolutely crazy.
The elusiveness to hit and not be hit.
Yeah, well, and like I think a lot of that goes to that distance management and that footwork and being able to get in, like use use that lead hand as your distance gauge, and if I'm touching them, bam, I'm throwing this other one, bam, I'm gonna move myself back out, maybe jump underneath. Like you were really good on when you got on the inside too, or somebody got
Yes.
on the inside of you. Like I saw you would either jump in, wrap them up, or you'd be like moving away or ducking underneath. Like it almost felt like you could just at any moment grab him by the arm and just flip him around.
Yeah, I don't know because like okay, I think I have like a 76-inch reach, but I prefer to fight in the pocket and stuff. And this was actually the first time that I've so instead of my first 3 fights actually, I wanted to engage inside of my reach and stuff, which I feel like was my downfall. So this fight was like my first time actually like trying to stay from the outside, evaluate from the outside, see what's going on. Like don't close my eyes because sometimes I'll blink pretty damn hard. But
Yeah, I
like
do that too.
yeah, but like I felt like I was just like shout out to people who I've been sparring with, man, because like yeah.
Anshuman, what did you think of that fight? Because like I remember you responding. I remember like them throwing some punches, like you taking a few shots here and there, but I just remember your response was always on point.
Like
Hmm.
you were unrelenting. That's the best way to describe it. Like you kept going at it. Like
Yeah.
you would Like of course, sometimes the best offense is always the most effective. Like you didn't give any quarter. You knew what you were doing. You were a professional.
Thank you.
I'll say this: I was surprised that you did not get fight of the night.
Yeah,
I was surprised by
They
that.
had they had a hometown hero in there, and they I'm just a guy from Champaign, so they was just like, we gonna turn him up. He's from 309, so like, it's all right though.
I mean,
I was just happy to be in there, man. I was just real happy.
like I'm gonna be honest about the Dantes Boyd fight. Like I wasn't sure if he was gonna win. I actually thought he was gonna lose. Like,
Hey, if I'm being honest too, I respect for him and his opponent. I felt like he lost. And then when his hand got raised, I was just like, good job. Hey, everybody has their moments, I guess.
like that
But
was
I
like
think it was because I think that he won the first round. It was pretty even, but I think he won the first round. The
Yeah.
second round, I think that went to to his opponent. And then the third round, it felt like it was pretty even. And then like the last like minute or so, those like 30 seconds, it felt like it was going all the other way against him. And then those last 30 seconds, he just kind of turned it up, and it was like
Yeah.
he was just landing. He was just landing, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, is that going to be enough? Like, is that going to be enough to take it? I really didn't know. But yeah, he wound up taking that home, and the fight of the night, like it was that was cool.
Yeah, they was player hating. They know they could have sent me home with 2 belts, man. They just didn't want to hype my head up too much. It's all right, though.
I mean, you still represent, even though you're not from Peoria. I still feel like you represent the Central Illinois area.
Yeah, that's my goal. I don't want anybody to only just be like, oh yeah, he represents Champaign, he represents 217. Nah, I represent Illinois, and I'm a slap us onto the maps as being the amateur who more popular than some pros coming and packing up the stadium. You feel me? Because like I'm blessed to impress, and I know it's the reason why I'm here.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit more. So you were a triathlete when you were in high school.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Champaign Central High. Go Maroons!
When you said you did what? Track, football.
So
You played
the
football,
sports,
right?
yeah. I played football my junior and senior year. I ran track all 4 years. I played basketball my sophomore year, and
Oh
I
wow!
wrestled and I wrestled my
Oh
junior
wow!
year. So my junior year was when I was a tri-sport athlete.
So I have a theory about track. I feel like track to me is one of the most translatable skill sets. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts
I can
on
see.
that?
I can see that.
Yeah, no cap. Like I take pride in the strength that my legs create. I feel like my lunging punches. Y'all didn't really get to see those because I kept them tucked away because like I know I'll be fighting in Peoria again. I fight again September 19th inside of Champaign, at the City Center. But like
Wait. You're fighting when? What?
I fight September 19th in Champaign, Illinois, at the City Center.
The City Center. Okay. Sorry, I'm making some notes here.
Heck yeah, man! It'll be
Make
blessed.
sure
to have
we're
y'all in the
represented
crowd.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my second belt. I don't care who they put in front of me.
So this is going to be number 5 for you, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure you didn't get any other fights in between now and then.
Yeah, I was looking at fighting on August 23rd, but we haven't really discussed it out all the way because like I was talking to the gym out here, Leondo's, about getting me onto the card. They want me to show up inside their gym a little bit more, but their gym is expensive and I'm not rich. So like sometimes they don't really think that I'm as committed as I am to boxing because I'm not inside their gym every single morning. But it's just like I work out every day. I go to what's convenient. I go to what's affordable, and it's free to run. It's free to run outside. So like get my miles in, and I know I'm good for my fights.
One thing I feel like that you actually address a valid point. Like one thing that really, well, it's everyone can exercise anytime, anywhere, even copying videos off YouTube. But for the most part, like going to gyms requires money. Like getting promotion costs money and marketing, and getting people to sponsor you to be pro and actually get out there costs money. Like I feel like monetary cost really holds back a lot of people, especially people who have talent.
Yeah,
Well, that's why well, KOK Dream Chasers. Like, I don't know if you talked to Robert Bell about that program. Like, this is exactly what I mean in my mind. What he's told us about this program, what it's for. It's for individuals who have who know what they want to do. They want to get into something, and they go and they flex their their muscles and their network, and they try to find you sponsorship to be able to sponsor your time there in the gym, or they may even have grant money for that stuff too. But it's not just boxing. Like, if you want to do culinary arts, like he's willing to use his network to get people into whatever their passions are.
Oh yeah,
I think you should make a stop down there.
Oh yeah, that's a little PSA I want to put out to any lovely woman who might be watching right now. I can cook. I could cook so good. I could cook immaculate,
So I actually want to know a little bit more about that, because you said that you don't do any protein powders or like pre-shakes or any of that stuff.
Oh.
So I wanted to know about your nutrition. Like, what are you eating on the regular?
That is a good question.
Okay, so actually, that's doing too much. I was about to go grab stuff out the refrigerator, but like I go to the store. I get a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of kale. I eat a lot of asparagus. But I haven't cut out red meats though. Like, I love ground beef. I love pork and stuff.
Protein, vitamin B12, iron, like
yeah,
saturated fats.
Yeah, I love mackerel. Oh my goodness, man! Give me some mackerel and I'm okay. Mackerel.
What's a mackerel?
It's a fish.
It's fish in the can.
Like mackerel is an oily fish. Like,
yeah, it is.
So it's relative.
I usually get like the sardines or whatever.
It's like cousins to sardines.
Yeah, but bigger.
Yeah,
spam.
A lot bigger.
I'll just get spam.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, get some spam. You cut off the end of it and you fry it up a little bit.
So like oily fish is really good for you, like tuna. Like, it's actually fish. Some people argue that fish is like the best meat for you to eat.
Oh yeah, I was considering going pescatarian. I was thinking about going pescatarian leading up into Golden Gloves. Like, the moment the year 2025 start, going pescatarian for January, February, and March, leading up into Golden Gloves.
Just gotta watch out for those mercury levels, depending
Yeah.
on the fish that you take.
Yeah, that is something to consider.
Yeah.
Yep, I just got done having babies, and that was like a whole thing. Like, couldn't have this kind of fish because mercury poisoning. Can't have this kind of fish because you'll die that way. It's like, oh. And then of course I saw an interview with Jeremy Piven. He was like, just eats tons of fish, and he like one day was just like went to the bathroom and like almost like passed out and was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. He had mercury poisoning because he was just eating too much of a fish that was in a particular area and it had mercury in it.
Oh yeah, I love salmon. I love bass. Those are my two favorites. Those are my go-tos all the time.
Salmon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love going to like Costco and just getting like one of those like salmon things.
I live right next door to a Costco, man.
Oh wow.
I'm jealous, dude. Oh man, I miss Costco so much.
Yeah, I'm walking distance from it.
Okay.
They call me Boxer Boy everywhere I go.
Well, like when I go to Costco, like I like to get that thing of like 3-pound chocolate almonds, and I will smash that in a week. Like, oh yeah, I annihilate that thing. Do you have anything like that where you're just like, this thing's just got my number? If it's in front of me, like, I'm eating it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What is it? As of recently, I've been having like a crazy sweet tooth for like freeze dried candy.
Oh, strange enough, same with me.
Candy.
Like,
yeah,
they extract all the moisture out of it.
Really? I've never even heard of freeze dried candy.
Like, they have
oh my goodness.
Interesting.
Freeze dried Skittles.
Oh yeah.
Freeze-dried Airheads.
Yeah.
Freeze dried. Oh, I love freeze dried fruit in general. But like freeze dried Skittles, man, oh my goodness!
I know.
Do you buy it that way, or do like?
Yeah, I get it at Shell.
Yeah.
I kid you not about this. I was tempted to actually buy some, but I thought, nah, today.
You was gonna be in the camera talking about. Ow. My bad.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know about that stuff.
Hey, that's just
that's
wow.
wild. You're blowing my mind right now. There's like a whole like section of candy that I've been missing out on.
Oh my goodness, bro. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't like regular Skittles anymore.
Yeah, I
I just
agree.
like freeze dried ones.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
not the
you know what I've been
same.
doing? I've been getting like Aldi. You can get like a frozen thing of like a ton of different fruit, like strawberries, cherries, and like blueberries and stuff. And
Hmm.
I'll just pour it into a bowl and just eat it with my hands. It's awesome. When it's 95 degrees out and I get inside after working or like mowing the lawn, I'm like, I need a frozen treat. And instead of eating ice cream, I'm gonna eat some frozen fruit.
Yeah, you know what? That's good though. I'm a sucker for toaster strudels too.
Oh, see, yeah, I hear you on that. That's
Yeah,
one of my wife's. I like that
yeah.
and potato chips, just potato chips in general.
Potato chips cut up the roof of my mouth, so like we got a love hate relationship.
Yeah,
I feel you on that one
oh, that
too.
sounds really a love hate.
But
Yeah.
what's your favorite kind of potato chip?
um, Ruffles, Flaming Hot Barbecue, the Jason Tatum bag.
All right. I like
Yeah.
the sour cream and onion ruffles. I like ruffles in general. I
Oh
think
yeah, top
if you're
tier,
doing non
immaculate.
ruffles, exactly. This might be controversial. Anshuman, where do you sit on the ruffles classic debate?
I don't get this. No, really.
Oh, potato chip ruffles. You have like classic potato chips, and then you have like the one with the ruffles, like the little like dents in
The
it that go
little
all the way
ridges in them.
across.
I'm
Yeah,
neutral.
Yeah,
neutral.
I feel like they're like flavor pockets, and they make it even better.
You know what? I like you, Philip. No cap, because that's exactly how I feel about it. That's exactly how I
Dude,
feel
have
about
you ever tried to make your own potato chips at home? Like,
it.
dice them like really super thin, and like throwing them in some oil on the pan.
No, actually, I haven't though. Should I consider it?
I haven't tried it yet. I was hoping you could tell me.
Oh dang!
But you know what? I know what I'm gonna do tonight because like I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how to cook brats because I keep doing it the wrong way and like the middle is like always still pink. So I was like trying to cook it with like some
What?
vegetable oil in the pan. Yeah, because like apparently you're supposed to like boil them in like beer and then you like put them over in the pan. And I was like too lazy to do all that. So like let me try and do it all at once and like just use the vegetable and it didn't work the way I wanted to. It just sears the outside of it. But anyways, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right.
Just
You
on
have me thinking
my
about brats
brat
for a
debates.
second. Yeah, I usually bake mine in the oven for a little bit, then I throw them on skillet.
Ah, dude, yeah, I think that. See, and like I always like they always break once I put them onto the skillet too, and then like it loses all of like the juices and everything
Oh
inside.
yeah.
Like
Ah.
I'm still trying. I finally got a bunch of nice like all clad pans. I've got nice equipment, and I
Yeah.
love using it, but I still am not very good with recipes. What about vegetables? What do you do for that? You said like asparagus. Do you grow any of that yourself? Or are you getting it at the store?
No, I don't actually. I was actually considering um starting to do something like that because I think that gardening is very therapeutic,
Oh, it
and
is.
yeah, and like I just like I'm real keen to just like just trying to open up my third eye and keep it open. To be honest,
Yeah, that is very true.
so, yeah, so
Interesting.
anything that makes me feel like I'm woke, yeah, I'm just gonna invest all my time into it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, what do you do that helps you expand that area of your mind?
I sun gaze. Like if you guys have seen me looking over here, it's because like I have this very, very nice like view
Oh
and
wow, that's
stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah, and then like yeah, so like I love to sun gaze because like they said it's good for um like emorphin. I don't know the exact word, but it's like something inside your brain, and it's just like
Endorphins.
endorphins.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes,
And so
endorphins.
like I feel like that's pretty good. I also I also like to go on walks. Like I might wake up at like 5:45 in the morning and like go take the trash out, and then next thing I know I'm like on like a half a mile walk, just chilling, vibing with the earth.
That's really interesting. I have autism and ADHD, and one of
I
the
got a little
things they talk
ADHD.
about. Yeah, all right, my
Yeah.
man. You're in good company. Well, that's
Lol.
actually one of the things that they recommend that you do is in the morning you go outside and you seek morning sunlight, and that can help alleviate a lot of symptoms. And also, like, I guess there's something with the type of like white light and blue light that goes into your eye, like it wakes you up and gives you like a little bit more energy or whatever. Like, I don't really
Oh,
know
yeah,
about all of that, but
sounds
I
right.
find that light science is it's interesting. Like it can have a really big impact on your mood, which can impact how you eat, which can impact how you sleep, which can impact how you train. Like it's this whole domino effect, and I feel like a lot of people that aspire to get into fighting, they don't really see that those all those chains of events and how all those things are connected together until you're like in it and you're you lose one of those things, and then maybe it's maybe you're a John Jones and it's too late. You throw a 16-12 elbow when you're not supposed to, and you
Yeah. I don't know. Like I just like feeling like comfortable within my own body and stuff. Like I honestly like it hasn't happened yet, but like if I ever am getting ready for a fight and I feel like I'm not mentally there, like if I feel like I can go into the fight and win the war, but like I feel like my mind just isn't where it's supposed to be, like I will honestly give myself a good evaluation and just like not go, things of that nature and stuff, because like I always want to be at one with my mind, honest with myself, because just like the only person that I can never lie to and the only person who can never lie to me is me. So
dude, I respect that a lot because I can't tell you how many guys I've seen that are just getting into amateur, even at the professional level of fighting, and they get in with some of these promoters out there. They're ready to take advantage of you, and they're going to put you against somebody who's going to just absolutely obliterate you and
Yeah.
might be leagues above where you're at. So for you to be able to say like hey, like if I got a bad feeling about this, or maybe you realize what's going on, maybe it's a little late, like taking that good strong look at yourself and saying maybe this isn't the one for me. Like I think that that is both smart, brave, and it's something that maybe the promoter is going to hate it, but at the end of the day you're doing something that's protect yourself and keep yourself safe, and that's
Yeah.
always a good thing.
That's so true.
yeah, because you can't play boxing. You can't
I
play
agree.
boxing. So it's just like, I'm always make sure that my temple is standing strong at all times. There's been times where I've been inside the gym and like I've let like outside things throw off my swagger. And like I'll never leave a session in the middle of the session, but like, um like I'll do different things like instead, like if I'm supposed to go to the gym and I'm supposed to be working on pad work the whole entire time, but like my mind's just a little off, I'll probably just like go work on like some concentration drills or something like that. Like like I'll watch some of the pros that I'm around spar, and like I'll try counting all their punches inside of a round and stuff like that. Like how locked in can I possibly be? Because I'm a person who can get distracted by a fish farting, to be honest. And like
I know what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah, so it's just like, yeah, I I take pride in the way that I'm able to evaluate situations, and I never let anybody else's like opinion about something make me feel lesser of myself, because like I came into this world by myself and I shall leave by myself.
So, I mean, is there anybody that you find yourself training with consistently nowadays that's helping you
Um
next level right now?
um Brandon Cheney, Champaign, Illinois fighter, just had his pro debut a few months ago. Alan Mitchell Terry,
All
same thing with
right.
him. Yeah, those are two pro fighters boxing out of Champaign, Illinois, inside of Leondo's boxing. I got to check them guys out because they some dogs, for real, some dogs.
I'll
They
say
most definitely.
give him our number. Have him give us a call. We'd love to have him on.
Oh yeah, I most definitely do that. I swear I'll most definitely do that. But yeah, like getting inside the ring with them and being tired, and then like getting in the ring and doing a suicide with a pro fighter is just crazy, because just like, especially if you're the one who still got to stay in afterwards, and then you have a new set of feet coming in and they're also a pro fighter, and it's just like you gave me that mentality of like not being scared to get tired and stuff like that. Don't settle. Don't take pictures after a good punch. You know, go get back in there. Punches in bunches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my
I hear you
mindset.
on the on the pro thing. Like having pro fighters around is just
Like
unique. You know, you don't see that at every single gym, but man, it's just having them around just to watch is invigorating.
because
Yeah, I've also gotten some rounds in with Anthony Holloway.
oh
You know, yeah. So it's like, you know, we in there, we stand
Get
and
it?
look at each other eye to eye and stuff like that. Like I can see how great of a fighter that he is, and that like he has untapped potential that he's waiting to be unlocked. And it's just like, when I have moments of success against him, it makes me feel like, all this work is paying off and stuff, especially being a younger guy going against all of his exposure and experience and stuff like that. So it's just like, I'm always constantly thankful of it. I try my best not to be cocky ever and stuff, but like sometimes I just gotta just let it be known that, like, there ain't many people who can just hop into boxing and 2 years later be able to give pros good work.
that is phenomenal.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think for you, there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance, and depending on people's perception of you, that will kind of determine on where that lands. But I see you as just a very confident young person who's just ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't see a sweat of arrogance on you, and the fact that you can. I've heard some stories about how Anthony Holloway spars. He's got some heavy hands. The fact that you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
in there
Yeah,
and just keep up, like
Yeah.
that's very
that's
impressive.
really like I can't do that. Like, but
He's
you're
actually
doing that, my dude.
he's actually the guy that made me realize that I can take a great punch and keep coming forward.
Oh
Because,
wow.
like, yeah, because like they had us boxed inside of a ring, and it was like only like 10 by 10 and stuff like that. So like it wasn't a really big ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's just like wherever I move, he's like right there in front of me. And like I remember this specific combo. Like I threw a jab and I stepped too far back, and my foot kind of slipped out of the ring. So I quickly pulled it back in, and I got back in there. Boxing, protect yourself at all times. I look back over towards him. I get caught with a straight right, boom, stuff like that. He steps over, right uppercut, boom, and then that comes. I step over to the side and then pumping my jab, and it was just like as I'm pumping my jab and trying to get my hits back, get my points back, so I don't lose the exchange necessarily. I was just thinking to myself, like, you know, I got good head on my shoulders, things of that nature. Like,
Yeah, when
some
you're
people have been turned away after being hit that hard.
oh yeah, I mean I've certainly had my moments where I've gotten hit
Yeah,
real
I
hard.
do too.
When they knock the fight out of me, essentially, I'm like, I need to go sit down.
Oh, that happened to me. Like I charged my old kickboxing instructor because I was angry. We were doing a mock sparring thing. He just knocked me in the head and knocked the wind out of me. I was dizzy. It wasn't a concussion, but well,
Dude, back in the day, I was sparring this kid named Colin, and like we were about the same size. We were both little guys, like 5'6", 5'7", 135 pounds, and but we're both black belts, so like we do like we're pretty competitive.
Mhm.
And he wound up throwing this punch, and I just I stepped in, wrapped him up, and I did this judo hip throw. And I did it I put a little too much into it. He
uh-oh.
came all the way over and just landed flat on his back and just, like you could hear the gasp.
Oh
of air
man, a
just
little bit
leave
of
his
my
body.
air just left my body.
Oh yeah, they made me sit down for a little bit after that one. Like, hey, you're being a little too rough. I'm like, it was just really good. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. What's the biggest hit you've ever taken? Like, I mean, in the ring
Oh
or
god.
outside?
Oh god.
The biggest hit that I've ever taken inside the ring was when I was in Golden Gloves going against Deion Davis, and he was a
boy.
southpaw. Yeah, he was a southpaw fighter, and he called me with a left uppercut because he doubled the left hand, left hook to the body, left uppercut shot up, and that was like the first time I actually like got my chin popped up.
Oh.
And I felt like the world froze, and I was just like, I had to bring it
Yeah,
back down.
getting hit the left hook to the gut and then the left uppercut is an effective combo because if you hit hard enough in the gut and specifically the liver, you can basically make your opponent wince and make themselves vulnerable. And then he went for the kill. So you were lucky. I'm sorry if that sounds rude. Like it could have.
Oh, nah, bro, it's all right, man. Because I caught him with some bombs too. The whole entire stadium, the whole entire stadium was so shocked. It was like, "This is only your third fight. This is your third fight. You fight good." Even his coach took my number down. She never contacted me though, but
Oh,
she took my number down and she wanted me to come out to Chicago and train with him and keep him crisp for the rest of Golden Gloves.
wow.
She was like, "I see that you got that dog in you, and I want to like look into it."
That's
I think I
wow.
was supposed to make my way out to Chicago and then like try to contact her myself, but like I feel like the phone works both ways and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So one thing again, I say this. So I'm going back to an earlier conversation. Traveling, like most of our fighters have to leave for Chicago, St. Louis, Iowa, Indiana, or everywhere else, whether it's for fighting, for training. Like I know that I'm making this conversation about us. So so Phil, Cedric, and I we formed something called the Peoria Martial Arts Forum. It was an idea
yeah,
I got after the last year after the guns down gloves up thing. It got me thinking, like we have so many professionals in the area, bouts, fighters who go all over the place, yet there are no bouts here. There's no media attention at all. Usually our fighters have to go through weird ways to find sponsorship. So
yeah,
so that's why I kind of created the forum, because we want to, one of our first goals is having podcasts and media content to show off our fighters. Then also the next step would be having more bouts, actually being able to find sponsors for our local fighters.
yeah. I remember you have followed my other not my Instagram. You followed my other Facebook page, and at first I had no clue who you were and why all these things kept popping up on my page. I'm just like, what is this? What is this? But then like I seen that you was doing it all for a great cause and stuff like that, showing acknowledgement for the people who are coming up, events that's going on, and I was just like, you know what, I like that. I like this guy's swagger and stuff like that, and to be able to meet you in person and you show interest inside of me. I was just like, you know what, is longevity in this sport because God works inside of mysterious ways, and I feel like it's always beneficiary for myself.
I mean, let's be honest. I met Phil at Peoria Muay Thai. I met Cedric at an event called Pints and Politics, that was hosted by the mayor at a bar not that closed down years ago. The
Yeah,
point is, sometimes the most random encounter with somebody can change your life for the better, or worse. It works two ways.
yeah, I agree.
C'est la vie. I was gonna. Oh, did anybody else see Robert Bell and Anthony Holloway's Facebook today?
What
You're not.
I think they're getting a new gym.
You know what?
Yes.
I heard about that. I heard about that, and I'm actually excited to see it. To be honest.
Yeah, Anthony Holloway walked through. He took a video of the new space, man. Like, dude, it is the space they deserve, man.
So
Like, it's big.
I'm
It's like they're
Yeah,
gonna be
I
able
heard
to
that he's going to
put
be
their
cutting hair in there.
ring in there. Like, oh, dude, like, yeah, they've got a nice size space. I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with it and to get down there and just do some training. But I don't even know where it's at yet. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen the
I'm
video
just
and
waiting
I'm
for the
like,
grand opening.
so
yeah,
yeah.
samesies.
So yeah, I'm not gonna press them, but I am curious about where it's gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds.
Well, and what do you think, Shaune? What do you think needs to happen in Central Illinois to start getting more, professional and amateur bouts here?
Um, I feel like all the clubs in Peoria together need to stop making it seem like it's any type of like competition.
I
We're all
agree.
like going after like the same angle. Like we're like our amateur fighters, we're boxing because we see longevity inside of boxing. We all aim to go pro. And so I feel like some guys not wanting to go to this gym because they don't get along with them. I feel like like humble yourself, bring yourself down to earth, and realize the fact that we are human, man. Let's get this work in and let's take off. Like
No,
just
I
just
totally
really just
agree.
more support. Yeah, just more support.
I agree.
When I look back, like I think about the time, the first time KOK came over to the the Muay Thai gym that we were working out of, and I was was fighting this kid, like he'd been boxing for maybe like 8 months, like he was in like their youth program, and he was giving me the business, man. Like he made me realize I'm like I have so much to work on. I have no hands. like like but like I wouldn't have known that had I not like gone up against somebody who's just a pure boxer, like doing purely boxing. It was like we weren't like I was doing Muay Thai and he was doing boxing. Like I couldn't kick him and stuff, so I lost a lot of my arsenal, which I mean for me is like 70% of my arsenal. But dude, it was a really humbling experience, getting just knocked around a little bit and going, man, I really need to work on my defense. Like I need to be taking these like 2 and unders more seriously, like all of it,
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Boxing is a great sport, and every person who I meet who takes just the slightest interest into boxing, I instantly love them. Yeah.
Well, dude, it just bit me. Like I got into the gym a couple of times and like I just fell in, like from the first day when you're just doing the Thai march and like I was just throwing like 1-2s and just trying to figure out like how my feet work with my hips, work with my shoulders, work with my arms. Like it was just like it was a blast, kind of like deconstructing everything that goes into fighting and then building myself up so that I could actually perform some of those moves. Do you have any moves that like you're aching to do but like just can't quite get in there yet? Like like one of those like elbows from under, like that hurt me just doing that.
Oh my goodness, man. Okay, so it's this one move, right? It's a slip, right uppercut, and then bring the right leg. Ha!
Beautiful. Dude, I got a question on that. So like, I mean, when I typically throw, like if I'm throwing, say I go like my 1, 2, like, and maybe I throw my hook to the body. Like, do you normally throw? Are you gonna go like hook to the head, or are you gonna kind of lean in and punch under and do that uppercut with the right hand?
To be honest, I when I'm slipping into my uppercuts, I prefer to throw my uppercuts to the body because the body can't move.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
again, Muay Thai background, so I'm just absorbing right now. That's a clever way to look at it.
Yeah. So like, if you think back to my fight, I felt like the punch that I tried to land the most was my uppercut because like I felt like that was gonna be my ultimate difference. Like that was gonna make the difference of the fight. The fact that my power punch landed damn near every time I threw it. And yeah,
I do remember when you did land that punch. Because I remember the face going. Man, I remember that part because that was the part where everybody was just standing, like just watching, just in awe. Because oh man, that watching you guys just throw back and forth was so flipping cool. I wish I had more of that stuff on video, man.
I want to give a shout out to Jonah because that last minute of the third round had me nervous, like where he just started popping punches like Loma Chico and stuff like that, and I felt myself getting a little winded, and like I was just like, bro, I gotta land shots in between these combinations, and like he had me nervous the last minute of the third round. That's what makes me excited for our rematch because like I felt like
some parries, right? Like because you were throwing that jab in there, and I felt like he was like parrying down and was kind of like able to throw in that left hook over top.
Yeah, he was. He was taking advantage of every time I threw a lazy jab. Like just like what I was saying earlier about like the jab. Like I'll throw my bait to land my big punch, and then he was just like, "Oh, this is just bait," and he'll pop it off. Kind of redirecting my balance a little bit and stuff like that. Able to land shots. It's just that like he didn't have the most pop behind his punches, so I was just able to just just knock that off and keep going forward.
Honestly, yeah, dude. There were a couple times where I'm like, oh no, are they gonna break it up here? And you just kept marching forward like it was nothing, like a Terminator.
Oh yeah, bro. And then I think that's one of my bad habits too, because it's just like that's like where I enter this moment of like like straight destruction and stuff like that, and like I'll forget to just slip to the side and make my way in, and then like I'll just like walk forward on a straight line, then I'll just duck over to the side with an uppercut or something like that, and then like I'll just try to go from the body and bring it up to the head and go back down to the body and stuff. Like I was just
Sounds like you were trying to slip into your flow state, but you were adding in some sprinkles of win at all costs, which
Yeah.
I mean, doing those two things makes for a really fun bout. Like I can see exactly why you were able to accomplish what you accomplished there,
Yeah.
and it makes me even more excited to see your future bouts. When was your next one again? You said in August.
September 19th inside of Champaign,
That's right.
Illinois.
So,
Yeah.
so just as a warning, when you're a rematch, he's going to be motivated to make up for that loss. So he's probably going to be training extra hard, and he's probably going to push himself beyond his limits. So you're going to be.
Oh, are you fighting him again on the 19th? Is it the same opponent?
No, I think I'm getting matched up now. It would be pretty dope if he did like if he did event track me, like know that I'm fighting at this event, and so he decided to come to the event and fight me and stuff like that. That would be pretty dope. But like I feel like the moment that bell sounds off, he will realize that like dang, this guy did not use a lot of the stuff, because he's gonna see a lot of stuff that I didn't use, and like yeah.
So like for example, Muhammad Ali lost twice to Joe Frazier, and then he was able to beat George Foreman. And the thing is, loss is a great motivator. Because this is just as a warning. If the people you beat will be motivated to beat you.
Yeah.
So that's
I like that.
So the thing is, you're gonna apply, and that means you have to make yourself go harder and better, because they're gonna might be trying to rise to your level.
Mhm. I know that he's going to, when we do get our rematch, I know he's going to approach the fight completely different. He might come out. He might come out guns a-blazing and run right at me, because like I think he has great stamina, to be honest. Like for him to like just randomly just click it on in the third round like that, like my kudos to him, because like I thought the fight was good and over for me, and then like I started feeling myself like getting caught with like 2-3 punches at the time, and I'm just like, I'll be damned if I get standing 8. Yeah.
All right, so I've got one last real important thing that we need to talk about.
All right.
What do you do for fun? Like, when you're done fighting, outside of the training and all that, because I know I like to do that stuff for fun. Like, what do you do to unwind from boxing?
I've actually currently like found like a interest in gymnastics, and so I just recently taught myself. How to do a backflip and stuff, and so yeah. I in my free time, I like to just listen to music and dance, and I like to come up with like my own routines. I have friends who dibble dabble in music too, so I've made a few songs, but like it's not anything serious, anything like that. It's just like I just like to just kick back for real. I don't really play the game that much, so it's either like watching some boxing after that, or listening to music and dancing and stuff. I don't really go outside that much anymore.
Say, I pull up your YouTube right now. What's the first video that shows up?
The first video that shows up is a song that I dropped like 2 months ago. And then
what's it called? No, you can't just skate over that. What's it called?
Okay, so my YouTube is called Big Drop ISO, and the song is called Playback. And
I'm gonna have to go check it out, because like I play guitar and bass, and like I got there's a whole studio set up here. Like that's one of the things that I do just for fun, is just making music.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of friends who like to rap and stuff, and like I feel like my vocabulary is decently expanded. So like sometimes I just find myself just yapping, and then like and some of it just rhymes. Yeah.
Dude, I watched that Daniel Radcliffe from the Harry Potter movies. He was on like Jimmy Kimmel or something, and he was talking about how like he had like some like issues with his speech or something, so he would just learn these like really intricate raps because they like captured him, and like he would like and like enunciate them, pronounce them really, really well, and it would like help him like with his speech. I just like that was one of the things that got me into rap music. I had a similar problem where I would like slur my words together, and like I had issues like enunciating and like learning like the actual song that he did that night was I forget what it's called, but like I learned that entire song because he did it, and I found it had a huge improvement on my speech. It was crazy.
Actually, I used to be inside of speech improvement classes when I was in elementary school. Um, and I used to get made fun of for my stutter, like, because like it used to be real bad, and so I decided to expand my vocabulary because like if I stutter on top of a big word, guess what? You can't even spell it, and for like, so
My
that was
man.
the way that I thought about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll share like I was in a remedial reading program when I was in second grade. I was it was one of the things that I struggle with. I didn't realize I was struggling with it. And what was cool was is normally you're in it for like the entire year. I was out in 2 weeks. Like I was in it. They showed me the things I needed to know, and they went, "You need to not be in here." And they kicked me the f out, and I never went back.
Yeah.
Talk about
Um,
adaptability.
another thing, I want to bring up. I want to bring up something too before this thing ends too. I used to deal with like very, very, very bad anger problems when I was a kid. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, tell me about it.
when I was younger, I've thrown a chair at my teacher in kindergarten. I hit a kid with a dictionary in first grade.
oh
You know the
my.
move,
Well,
backstabber from WWE. Like I did that on
yeah.
a kid before.
Well, hold
Like
on. Take me back. Take me back to kindergarten. Throwing a chair at teacher. Like what brought that about?
so my
Why do you think that happened?
Well, actually, I still kind of remember it. It was not too long after my pop had got locked up and stuff like that, and like I used to come to
Mm.
school and just like relinquish my anger out onto people. And my teacher Miss Laura, she had just told me like one day like, just because your dad isn't here doesn't mean you can be acting this way. And like I was just like, what? Huh. And then like, yeah, chair at the teacher, suspended for like a
I
week.
I probably would have done the same, man. Like that's really really tough. Like and a lot of people don't know this about me. Like my dad almost went in for a minute. He was one of two people that had 3 DUIs on his record during this judge's 30-year tenure that did not get a jail sentence.
Oh
One of
wow.
two
He,
people.
he,
Yeah,
lo- he,
he was getting like he straight up told me that he thought he was going to go away for 2 years, and like I he didn't have a license, so I had to drive him to all of his court appointments. Like it was profoundly impactful. But I'll tell you, during that time, like I saw what integrity looked like, because he had some opportunities where he could have taken some plea deals on some other stuff, and he could have made that DUI go away, but he straight up said like, I did this, I did this, I'm gonna own it. This is it. Like I'm not gonna make the other stuff that I didn't do go away for this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I for me it was a huge impact.
Yeah, you know, and then it was actually pretty funny because like I feel like I should have said this from the very beginning, to be honest, because now I'm saying it at the very end. But okay, so with my anger problems and my dad being in and out of jail for all of his kids and stuff like that, he went in when I was 4, got out when I was 16, went back when I was 19 and stuff.
oh,
Yeah, and he's
Sorry
still
to
in
hear
there right
that.
now and stuff. When I started boxing, and my mom was out in California when I first started boxing, and like at first she was just like, "Oh, you're just doing it to stay in shape because my son's an athlete," and I was just like, "Yeah, mom, your son is an athlete. This is why I'm doing it." And then she was just like, "Yeah, your dad used to box." I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, we whopped the bam." Told me like a little story. I ended up getting on the phone with my dad, and he told me that boxing's been in my family for like 40 plus years, and my mom
oh,
forced him to never tell me about it and stuff like that because I had anger issues
What?
growing up.
oh
Yeah, because I
wow.
had bad anger issues growing up. My mom felt like I was gonna be a bully and stuff like that. And my mom wanted to avoid that, and I still end up like looping my way all the way back to boxing. Like if I'm lying, let God send me up right now.
No, that's
Wow.
really a brilliant story because I mean, really, like
Wow.
where does anger come from? Anger comes from fear. Fear often comes from misunderstanding, or fear of the unknown, or something that you're really working with or
And
against rather.
and
Like that's
powerlessness.
I always felt like yeah, I always felt like boxing and mixed martial arts was a way to empower an individual. And for me, like it helped cover up a lot of my insecurities and it made me
Hmm.
feel like I
I
didn't
agree.
have to fight. Like it gave me a way where I could feel really good about walking away. Cause like I know I could smash you. Like maybe you'll get a couple licks on me, but like you're gonna go to the hospital. Like yeah,
Yeah,
I know that like that's these are just the facts of the situation. But like the fact that like I didn't need to do it. I didn't need to like lend myself. I didn't have to stoop down that low, and I could just walk away because I knew I had it. Like I don't know, man. There's just something that feels just so good about that. Have you found that in for yourself?
yeah. Like I feel like when my dad gets out of jail, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to get him his USA coaching license because I want him to join my team.
My
I want him to
man.
teach. I want him to teach me that old school southpaw style and stuff like that because like I hate just telling him about it over the phone and stuff he hasn't called me yet since I won this and but he should be going to the halfway house here in a couple months. So it's just like my goal is to bring a whole bunch of accomplishments and let them know like, Dad, I got us. Like promise me you'll stay out of trouble, and I promise I got us for forever.
So usually
Can I
it's you.
ask what he went in for?
He broke his parole, and then when my baby sister was born, um, they tracked him down outside the hospital, and since he was a felon, he was in tour with some people and he had a weapon on him, and like they was just like, oh, that's a
Oh,
no no, and they took him away.
oh, that's unfortunate.
I know how that
Now
goes.
when I
I've
was
got some
younger,
stories.
yeah, when
Wait,
I
say,
was
what did he
younger,
originally go in for?
drugs,
Oh,
yeah, when intention to distribute,
I was gonna ask, like using or selling, or both.
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear
Now
that,
my
man.
dad,
Like,
my dad's a pure temple, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and I think that's where I get my disgusted tongue from alcohol and smoking from.
dude,
so
I was the same way till I was 18. I wouldn't touch anything, like absolutely nothing. And then before I had my first drink, I'm like, Mom, it's my buddy's graduation party. I'm thinking about having a couple of beers for the first time, and just like essentially got her blessing. She's like, just be safe, don't drive. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's valid.
okay. Not that I'm saying anybody should be underage drinking out there. It was a
Yeah,
different
don't do
time.
that. Don't do that unless you want to get in the ring with me. No
But
underage
I
drinking, or you
really
gonna
appreciate you
see.
sharing. Well, dude, I appreciate you sharing that party life because I know
yeah.
it can be really hard. Like for me, my
Yeah.
father was in the public eye. Like he was a trustee on the village board. So like I got phone calls to my house, like death
Oh
threats,
wow.
oh yeah, like it was pretty gnarly during that time.
Yeah,
But
that's
like ultimately,
unfortunate.
like he never went in. Like he never went in. He was able to to keep his his life the way he had it on the outside. So like I was incredibly privileged and fortunate along those lines. And I think about your story and I appreciate you sharing it with everyone because I know there's a lot of
Oh yeah.
individuals out there going through something similar and to be able to talk about those hard things and give those people a pathway to do something positive with it. So I appreciate you doing the difficult thing tonight and talking about that with us.
Yeah, I never think about it as anything that can hold me back. I feel like it's something that empowers me, and it also lets me. It also like makes me feel more certain of the fact that God has me here for a reason.
So who's your biggest fan right now?
My biggest fan is
I mean,
my mama.
outside of me and Anshuman, I'm like, me and Anshuman might be your biggest fans right now after watching you fight at the Civic
Yeah.
Center.
My biggest fan is Mama Chappell. My mom.
How does Mama support you? Is she behind you doing your boxing thing?
She hasn't been able to make it to a fight yet, but like, I can just feel her presence with me every time I go. Um, yeah,
Well,
like
that
my
doesn't
mom.
quite answer the question though. Does she like that you're boxing, or is she kind of like, I don't know?
she covers her eyes, but she peeking a little bit.
Dude, my wife's the same way. She's like, well, because I've always
Wow.
wanted to do just one amateur mixed martial arts bout, and my wife's like, I'll go if you make me, but I'm literally just gonna cover my eyes and be screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's she cares. Like I like that.
Like I kid you, like I kid you not. I don't know if it's, like kid you not about this, Shaune. That if do you know who Francis Sargent is? He was one of the judges at the referees at the Midwest Showdown.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. So he told me a story that when he couldn't take his mom to his boxing matches because she would get angry at his opponent for hitting him.
Yeah, he's about to jump in the ring, Willow.
So he actually told no,
Dude,
mama.
He was so funny at that first show, man. Like he was just beaming, just a smile, just ear to ear the entire time he was anywhere near that ring, man. And then when he was standing up in the ring, like the lights were on him, and he was just like you could see like he was ready to just flip that switch and like just turn it on and like start shadowboxing on the ring. I'm like, Francis, he's ready to go right now, man.
The man fought against.
It was just like kind of a cool moment, like watching a local legend just in the ring with himself, you know.
The fact the man fought against Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, that says something.
Yeah, so I was trying to find that. I couldn't find it on his professional record, but that was when he was an amateur, right? When he was doing Golden Gloves. Was that when he fought Mike Tyson?
I think so.
Or was it Felix Abner? Because didn't Felix Abner fight Tyson?
I'm not sure. I gotta look this up.
There's some stuff that I have to investigate. I gotta see that.
I know, right? Like we've had some locals who have fought some like worldwide legends, you know, like just crazy.
Yeah.
I got to meet Felix at the Civic Center. That was really cool. You know, he took a few minutes to come and talk to us. You know, like in between him and like Anthony Holloway and like all the people in Peoria, just they're so fantastically generous with their time. Like they all just want to see the best for the others around them, and like it just love seeing the community that they're starting to develop right now. Like it's really cool to see the support being led to other gyms and other fighters.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it too. You know, I see Peoria becoming a second home for myself.
Well, so yeah, I feel like you're going to be up here a whole lot. You know, between the Combat Academy and Robert Bell, like you need to get yourself up here, man. Like you've got that 76-inch reach. Like that's some Tommy Hearn stuff, man. You get
little jab.
So one of the things,
dude,
go
ahead. Sorry, I was going to talk about Tommy Hearns more.
So yeah, I mean the purpose of the forum is to address all these stories, all these legends, and like address, like there are so many stories that are told and untold within our area, and stories that are just beginning, such as yours. So that's why we want to tell these stories, like things about Tommy Hearns and others in the area.
Well, like I was always terrified to go into a gym. Like I kept trying to find gyms, but like it was hard and it was scary. And then like I don't know, like I thought I found a gym and I show up in my stupid pea coat and looking all slick because I come in from work, and then I can't sign up because nobody's there and nobody knows the pricing.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what to do with my life.
Oh man, that's no good.
I mean, it's just life. And honestly, it was a really great gym too. Like a really, really great local gym, and I would have really loved to work with the individuals there. But yeah, it's just little things like that, stop me from being able to get in the door.
Yeah. With the
big you're looking sharp there with that belt.
Man, bro, I was being a little conceited. I was looking at myself just a little bit.
Yeah, we got to get that thumbnail for the video. So.
Oh, I got you.
Good having that champion. Yeah, there we go. Got that championship belt in there. There it is. There's a thumbnail on Shimon. We got it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about what's going on with Ryan Garcia? And then I think we're getting close to the end here.
Man, I love Ryan, man. Stuff like that.
Dude, I did too. Like, what's happened?
I have no idea.
I felt like he could have won that fight without the PEDs, man. But it's just like It's just like if he could have won the fight without him, he would have never took him. It sucks, but I think that he's gonna make his own. I think he's for real going to make his own boxing division.
He's really interesting because like he was one of those guys where he was operating like a traditional Mexican fighter. He was doing zero weightlifting. Everything that he was doing was all like, it was just muscle movement. So
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna weightlift either.
Well, but then to see him just gain the amount of weight that he did over the period of time that he did, knowing how it is that he at least is trained in the past, was just like kind of strange. And then suddenly there's this big PED thing, and he's got tainted supplements, but it's like, really, dude, like you really got tainted supplements, or is something are you trying to give yourself the edge in the competition? I don't know. It just sucks because like he was already such a brilliant fighter to watch, and to see somebody like that like feel like they needed to go to PEDs in order to compete. It's like, what happened?
Weirdo.
I don't know. I think it's like the replay of him getting beat by Tank in his head, and there was a lot on the line for the Devin Haney fight, and like I feel like he manipulated himself into thinking that he needed it.
It was that loss, right? It was really after that loss when he kind of started going down the deep end, or do you think it started happening before then?
He was going through things with his wife and things of that nature, and like I seen that taking a toll on him inside like the boxing industry, like randomly getting videos of him just drinking beer on Twitter and stuff. And I'm just like, right. bro, stop.
Oh wow.
But the thing is though too, like what you was just talking about, like, how he gained all that weight, he was drinking a lot. And I felt like a lot of that weight came from the drinking. But then when he tested positive for the PEDs, I was just like, why, bro? Why?
That's just wow.
But then, like, on the flip side of that, like, I look at guys like a Brock Lesnar when he was in the UFC. Like, when he was in the UFC, he weighed, 265, 270 pounds? But, like, when he got injured, what was he on? Like, he was taking, testosterone therapy in order to, to help with his injury. They were taking steroids. So, like, it's like, when is it okay, and, like, when does it start becoming too much of an advantage for the fighter? Because like,
that's
why wouldn't you just be, I'll just go be hurt all the time, and now I can just use PEDs as much as I want? Or like, some of these guys will just, they'll tank their testosterone levels so they can go in and get TRT replacement, and then they'll be able to operate within, when they do their testing, operate within the levels of testosterone there. But maybe they're taking way more than that beforehand. It's like, who knows?
Oh, like I feel like the whole testosterone boost does actually work, because like for example, I heard that being practicing like abstinence before a fight is very good for like the strength inside your legs and core. And so like a month and a half before my fight, like I wasn't doing like anything like adulting leading up into the fight, and like I feel like I had that extra grit, and like I feel like having the extra testosterone boost is something that just feels great inside the ring. Like now, like against your opponent, like if you go against somebody who's like completely pure and they actually work for it, and you just like juiced up, like I don't think that's fair. And I feel like the punishment should be a lot harsher and stuff like that. Make people like feel scared for that and stuff like that. Like if you got that stuff in your system, I feel like people should be getting stripped of their titles, losing opportunities and things of that nature. Like make them scared to have this stuff inside their system and actually go out there and fight a fight. But it's just like,
what would you say to like an Arnold Schwarzenegger who like during the 70s and early 80s, like I mean it's well known that he was using steroid during that time. Like what would you say to somebody like that was he was able to reach the pinnacle of his sport utilizing those same steroids that are being banned today?
So okay, I'm gonna go on a crazier note. So let's say some scientist develops some gene editing or some cell therapy that do an injection, it turns them into a real life version of Captain America. Like that could be possible in the near future. So the thing is, when is the boundary between artificial enhancement? Like sometimes I feel like shouldn't have to artificially enhance yourself. Of course, then again, there are so many people that before this happened that we look up to who use this stuff. Like it's so crazy.
Well, yeah, like who's like Lance Armstrong, like 7-time Tour de France winner. Like finds out he's using human growth hormone during that entire time, and we all just thought he was just training his ass off in the Colorado mountains. And like no, he was using HGH. He was he was cheating, and it was just nobody knew that thing was available at that time.
Well, I feel like all these supplements that people are getting their hands on is just getting scarier and scarier, to be honest. And I feel like they shouldn't be putting their body onto that type of risk. Like, the best way to properly heal the body after an injury is to still work out, but very light and stuff like that.
So
and
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, so yeah, I totally agree. There's actually studies that were done. If you work out at the same time each day, the same muscle at that specific time, consistently, that you can actually create a genetic response to that area, and it'll actually heal you up to 3 times faster. And so you can, of course, add on more muscle, as long as you're taking in the appropriate nutrition and you're continuing to work out other aspects, and you're taking your day of rest and that stuff. But I just found it was really fascinating because, they used to tell us, like, if you work out real hard and you're hurting, like, take the day off. But I always found if I worked out hard that next day, or even just like half as hard that next day, I felt a million times better after that workout than if I just left it to just heal.
yeah, I know.
You feel the same?
So not only that, like one of the reasons why one of our goals me and Phil have with the forum is also getting people knowledge about not just the letting people know their stories, but also getting people knowledge about health facts about combat sports. Like eventually we want to interview a sports doctor and broadcast this news about how not to get injured.
Yeah, we actually have 3 different
idea.
sports medicine physicians in the pipeline, and then we also have my sister, Dr. Gebauer, who's a family medical practitioner. She's also agreed. So we've got some heavy hitters in medicine that are going to be on this podcast in the next couple of weeks here to help out people who are going on this combat sports journey, help keep them safe.
So yeah, I think we'll end the show here on a high note, so we can announce our future plans and stuff. So I thank you for everyone for tuning in this evening of Peoria Fight Talks by the Peoria Martial Arts Forum.
And please check us out on PeoriaLife.com or YouTube at Peoria Life. Thanks for being here, Shaune.
Man, thank y'all for having me here, to be honest, man. If anybody want to reach out to me who's watching on Facebook, you can find me at Soul Drop, and on Instagram you can find me at soulsad.drop. And hit me up. I'm not bougie, I'm not a celebrity or anything. I talk to everybody, and if we share the same interests, share the same interest, I love you.
Thank you.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks
you for that. Yeah, let's reconnect after your next fight, man.
All right, then. September 19th, Champaign. See me with another belt.
We'll be there, Shaune.
All right, appreciate y'all for having me.